We're back. And we have Kojo Addae Mensah in the house. Kojo, before the break, I told the people that let's talk more about how things are now. That's the general talk, you know. And even before we get there, earlier you had mentioned how people should take their time and ask questions. Yeah. Let me stay on that for a minute before we get to the general. Okay. Yeah. People ask. We are not a question asking culture. We don't have it.
That's true.
Hey, that's true. Yes, Ropo say it's a bank. Now when we say, you know.
That's true. That's true. I mean, to the extent that when I got into Databank at first, you see, binim show bronya tadi and some Databank.
Hey, we're going to Databank.
Ceremony but I mean, maybe let me drop down a bit to those who are not as sophisticated and may not, know. The thing is, if you ask the company that is standing in front of you the questions, most likely they'll give you the answer that you want to hear. What I will recommend though is they can ask, okay, all company we cry, why in a shemoso? No, banks, they will be an himself Bank of Ghana. Bet me after Bank of Ghana crowd, or bet sure baby SSL offer. Securities and Exchange Commission. You get it. So if you cannot trust the person sitting in front of you, at least the regulator you can trust. Call the regulator or find out who the regulator is and call the regulator and ask the regulator, is this company good? Maybe the regulator won't say, yes, it's good, so that next time you come and say, but you told me.
Yeah.
But the regulator will tell you or give you an indication whether this company has any complaints with them that they haven't resolved, whether this company is doing the right thing that it must do. So no matter where you are sitting, whether you are in the marketplace or you are in some shop somewhere on the high street somewhere, you still have a phone. Everybody has a phone. Just pick the phone and call and ask. Not everybody can Google, but if you can Google and check yourself, so that it's not only the person, the company that wants your money to invest your money that is sitting in front of you and talking. Then you can check, ask for phone numbers and call and check. I mean, otherwise, I really don't know, how else, if you don't really understand. And when you call, by all means, somebody understands your local language. Triga, Ewe, Dagbani, somebody will understand one of those languages and talk to you and let you understand. Because if you don't understand, then you have to be careful. You really have to be careful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we move on now to now, and investments, like you said, are so important.
Yes.
Because you get to a time in life when you can't earn money by working.
Yeah.
So you need to have invested so that somehow your investment is now generating income for you.
Yeah.
And how do we answer this question now? Because everybody say, how can I deposit some and save some?
Good. But KSM, luckily I'm old enough to have been, I was old enough in 1983 to see what was happening in Ghana. And to be honest with you, since 1983, when we were eating yellow corn and kukunte, there's never been a year that I haven't heard that if you are saying and it's hard and I can't meet since that farming time all the way down to today, it's the same chorus. So as for it's hard, life is hard, and what I can get to eat, I haven't gotten, and why should I now think of investment? It will always be there with us. I can assure viewers, I can assure you, it will always be hard. So no matter how hard it is, you have to develop a certain habit to ensure that you put something aside for that future. Because as for that future, I can assure you, it will come. Yeah. And you can't wait and think that, my kids or something will happen or I'll get a breakthrough or a deal. And in Ghana, we have more Christians, don't we, than any other. And I'll just use that and pick on a Christian principle to try and teach people why they can invest no matter what. And as Christians, they say we should tithe, isn't it? And we should tithe how much? 10% of whatever you earn. And I see a lot of Ghanaians strictly tithing without fail.
Yeah.
That should tell you something. That should tell you that no matter how hard it is, you are tithing. So no matter how hard it is, I believe you can invest. And I have a mantra that goes, if you can tithe, then you can invest. Same 10% principle. It doesn't have to be much. People think that when it comes to investment, then it has to be big.
Yeah.
No. If it's 10% of 100 that you are tithing, you 10% of 100, you invest. And that's it. The rest, live within that remaining 80 that you have. If your income increases to 150, increase the tithe to whatever 10% of that is, and at the same time, increase the investment. It gets to a point where when you are not investing, you are not even feeling correct. Like, hey, this month I haven't gone to invest. Just like you've gone to church, and in Methodist, the tithing book is there. You know, it's strict. They will check, have you? The same way, get your investment book and tally it. Once you are tithing, you are investing. The same. I mean, it's just a principle I'm teaching here, and you can apply it in any. So no matter how small you earn, there's absolutely no excuse. And you know, money is a very inelastic commodity. No matter how much you're earning, it's never enough. You always want more. I mean, I always use Oprah Winfrey as an example. The woman is still working.
Yeah.
And she was, or is, or was the richest black woman in the world. Does she need to work? Really, let's think about it. Does she really need to? But she's working. Whether it's for money or it's for philanthropy or whatever it is, she's still earning money. So money will never be enough. It will never be enough. And if you keep pushing it and saying, oh, when I get more, the more you push it, the more now you will require to put aside for that future. Because KSM, I always say, for those who think that their kids will come and look after them, when we were growing up, there was nothing called creche. I don't know about you, but you are much older than me. There was nothing called creche. Today we have creche, where you are in a hurry to go to work, you dump your child. Back in the day, the child is at home until they are about age 6. Yeah. By the time we are growing old people's homes will become the new phenomenon. If you are not careful, your children will be so busy trying to make ends meet, they'll just dump you at some old people's home and check out and go. If you don't have your own means, you'll be very sorry for yourself. And so I don't think that times are hard is an excuse at all. It's not an excuse. You've got to get into the habit of investing.
Show some love. That's very, very true. And there's something about people not accepting that it gets to a point in life that you can't make money.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a time when, if you have invested, you realize the importance of what you have done, you know. But I think when people are growing up, young guys think, oh, we have time, time.
True.
You know.
Especially, and it is especially for those who work for themselves.
Yeah.
Especially. Most of us who are on a salary, sometimes we realize it a bit quicker. But those who work for themselves, pharmacists, architects, quantity surveyors, I mean those in construction, you know, most of them are like on their own. They are not in a firm earning a salary. Accountants, entrepreneurs, those who are working on their own, they always think they can work all the way till they are maybe 80 or, you know, because you see a few examples. But those are outliers. Those are not the norm.
Yeah.
And they use outliers to convince themselves that, oh yeah, this, but it's not right. They need to also, you know, put something aside, because one day you will not be strong enough to be able to do what it is that you are doing. I mean, at 60 you are still strong, you are going. 65 you are going strong. I from my experience, when you hit 70, things begin to, you know, you slow down. No matter what you do, you slow down, and new ideas will be coming, new blood will be coming. The young ones are coming with new technology, and you can't keep up. So while you are, you know, strong and going, pay yourself a salary. Entrepreneurs find it very difficult to pay themselves a salary and put things aside and behave. They just go with the flow as and when. I'm not one, so maybe it's easier for me to say. But those working on their own, they are the most vulnerable, and they need to really sit up and put things aside for when they retire.
Let's talk about this culture of putting things aside, getting people to understand that it needs to be done. Is there a way, can you say a way, within our educational system, this can be fed into it so that as you're growing up, as you're just going through schooling, part of the education is making you understand that this should be a habit.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've heard arguments where even courses like entrepreneurship should be made standard, like maths and English. You know, in school you have to pass maths, English, basic science. We can add entrepreneurship. And in that space, we bring the investment education in there. It has to be done, even if it's not done at the basic school. If it's not done at basic school, at least from SSS or SHS, it has to be introduced so that by the time you're getting into the university, it's been inculcated in you. It has to go through the educational system, because that is where you can catch everybody. Because once we leave the educational system, some will go into formal employment, but a lot more, 70% of our population, is in the informal sector. Even if you end up to be in a remote place doing something else, you would have gone through school at some point in time. So if it is imbibed into our curriculum, that will be, for me, the best thing that would happen to this country. It has to be a core subject.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. It has to be a core subject. Maths, English, general science, entrepreneurship. It has to be there. And then in the curriculum, you bring in the investment tips, the tools. I mean, we can all, help develop it. Right now, as it is, we kind of go out on our own. We go to the tertiary institutions, and then we are teaching investment and career counseling, and we're doing it. But it's not on such on the scale that is required. There's a limit to which we can do it. And if it is inculcated in the curriculum, then it cuts across the whole country in one fell swoop. Yeah.
So generally, do you think, as institutions like yours, you can lobby the education minister or government, whoever needs to be lobbied, so that this can be included in the curriculum?
Yes, we can. I mean, it's been tried. I mean, it's been tried. Some schools already have it, but it's not a core subject. But quite a number of schools have it as part of their curriculum, so that they build. But sometimes you get drowned with all the other problems that the education sector has. Like today, if you are to go into the education ministry to go and try and discuss this, that's not what is going to be their priority. They have double track, green track, blue track going on. All sorts of things are going on. So there's a bigger wahala for them. But yes, it's something that we can do. It's something that we should keep at it. We haven't given up on it. It's something that we can really keep pushing and pushing. And while we go around, I've noticed that some schools are picking it up, even at SHS level. Even though you can't invest on your own until you are 18, because so if you are not 18, it has to be done in trust for. We have schools where the school itself organizes as the trustee for the students, and then they help the students to start the investment. But it's not on a huge scale. But yeah, we have schools in Tamale that we've been able to get through, in Kumasi, in Takoradi, and in a few places. But I would have wished that it was much, much bigger. I mean, Kumasi, the other day we were in St. Louis, and it was amazing how the woman there organized the ladies and made sure that they were all investing. I was very impressed. Yeah.
Because what I noticed, the few times I've been on rounds and Databank was present, was the reaction from students when they're exposed to this kind of information, and how eager they are to start up something.
They are very, very eager. It's very, very eager, and it sometimes overwhelms us. We are not even able to meet the immediate demand. There's always an immediate demand. The challenge is after you've left and you've gone and the euphoria is gone and the passion is gone, then it starts waning. So we need a way to keep it, to sustain it. And if we can sustain it through the curriculum, I think that would really work. And we won't give up. We'll get back to the education. In fact, it's more of a GES issue than the ministry issue. It's the Ghana Education Service that we need to tackle, because they, I think, are responsible for the curriculum and developing what it is that they develop.
And one other area that we could think of, because they are so powerful, churches. I don't know whether there's a system to get them to let their congregations understand how relevant this is, so that as they collect their tithe, they can also set up something that people can do, unless they think that it will be competing with the tithe. But then they could be very influential.
I must say that some churches have been very welcoming. We've been to several churches. Some are extremely welcoming. In fact, they actually invite us to other programs that they may be holding, maybe a women's thing or a men's thing here. Some are very, very welcoming. Fantastic. Others too say, you know, the moment we bring you in, because we have so many people demanding that they want to come and do a presentation, the moment we open the door for you, it means we are opening it for everybody, and they seem not to be able to handle that bit. But there are other ways we go around it, you know. So if you are not even opening the whole church to us, there are societies within each church that we are able to, you know, reach out. So yes, churches are a very, very powerful avenue for doing this kind of thing, and we are able to, you know, educate, especially the youth wings. I've been to, I can't count, about several youth meetings where, you know, on a Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock, friends will invite me to just come and talk to the young ones there about the investments and what they can do and what they can not do, and where not to be greedy. And, you know, sometimes greed also comes into play. So yeah, we go into the churches, but it's not every church that has been able, you know, to welcome us.
Wow. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Now let's get back to your sports.
Yeah.
Formula One.
Yeah.
When I heard you were a Formula One addict, and what was that? Tell me the story about who tweeted what that became sensational.
Okay, we have a very strong Formula One group in Ghana. People don't know. We are quite a number of people who gather to watch Formula One. We have a WhatsApp platform, and so we go from place to place, you know, to watch the race. So Labadi Beach Hotel, DSTV showroom, Star Bar. I'm sorry, I'm advertising for them, but La Race. We go to different places to watch. And there was this race in August. I think we watched it at the DSTV showroom, where we were, you know, Hamilton was not on pole. And forgive me if I'm using some terms, but it was not on pole. I think Leclerc was on pole or something. Ferrari were on pole. Mercedes were not on pole. I'm a Mercedes fan, and we're hoping that Lewis will do an overtaking, you know, during the course of the race. On pole means that at the start of the race, you are in front. You know, 20 cars or 22 cars, they are arranged, you know, first, second, third, depending on your qualifying. Okay. But if you are the first, it means that you are on pole. Okay. So you are in pole position. So that term pole position actually is coined from Formula One, where it means you are the front runner. And normally, if you are the one starting at front, it is expected that you will win. But depending on strategy, fuel, tire situation, rain, track temperature, you know, where all those things come into play, very minute microseconds. And Hamilton did the overtake. And it was amazing. And we screamed and we were shouting, and we didn't know somebody was actually videoing us. Yeah. Videoed us, put it on Instagram, put it on Twitter, and Lewis Hamilton picked it up. Wow. Amazing. Wow. Lewis Hamilton picked it up and tweeted back and said, wow, he didn't know that he had fans all the way in Ghana. You know, and he did promise that one day he would come to Ghana. But that thing went viral. I was there, my bald head was right there in the video, and it just went viral. I'm told now it's had millions of views already. You know, it's amazing that Ghana is on the Formula One map. But we do go. We have a group that go. I've been to a couple of races, Singapore a couple of times, Malaysia. I've been there. I was in Abu Dhabi 2 years ago, not last year. Last year I couldn't afford to travel. But if you plan and you take your time and you think about it and you prepare towards it, you can go. And hey, when you are in the track, it's never like watching it on TV, and the way the engines are vroom, vroom, and the speed at which they are going. But yeah, we are quite a well-organized group. Kwabena Poku leads the group and makes sure that we are all organized. And we are trying to bring a Formula One car into Accra. Ghana. Yeah, we're working with, you know, Renault has engines in some of the car. Mercedes also has engines. So we're working with, you know, Renault here. We're working with Mercedes to try and bring a Formula One car into Ghana. That will be the day. Wow. That will be the day. Wow. Unfortunately, there's no track in Africa that hosts the Formula One.
Really? Not even South Africa?
Yeah, we are told South Africa is working on it. And it's possible that they can do a street race. I mean, Singapore is a street race. There are a few Monaco is a street race, which means that you don't need to have a stadium with tracks. So you can cordon off, a certain area.
Yeah.
So like in Ghana, we can decide that from Adenta, on a race day, we block that road. So from Adenta all the way maybe to Tetakwashi and turn round, and then do stunts on the side. And that's your racetrack. And for that day in Singapore, the whole weekend is locked down. There are certain roads you can access. And we watch the race, and it's fun. It's real fun, I mean.
Yeah. I have to invite you back.
Yeah.
All we'll do is sports.
We will. No, that
you talk everything sports.
I can talk almost everything.
Everything sports.
I'll talk football. I'll talk tennis. I'll talk cricket.
Yes.
Yeah, cricket. I mean, I had some encounter with some Indians. They were blown that me, West African, who just thinks of football. I spoke cricket with them. I can talk. What I can't talk though is American football.
Yeah.
That one. Charlie, I haven't really gone in deep, but anything, table tennis. I play squash 4 times.
So definitely, because it's getting more and more exciting.
We'll do it.
But we can't branch into sports because you can't get for Databank. But we'll bring him back for sports.
Sure.
So thank you so much for joining us, and
it's a pleasure.
we have just like a minute. Your final words to those watching about 2020.
Yeah,
how they can get or go invest.
And it being an election year, I know there's a lot of nervousness, uncertainty. I just want to reassure people that look, you don't need to be nervous. You don't need to be, so uncertain. You don't need to put your money under your pillow. Just it's a normal year. Just make sure that you are dealing with the right firm and invest, because this year will come and pass, and nothing is going to happen there. I mean, unless the world comes to a halt, but. Ghana has seen this is our probably 7th election or something that we are going into. We've seen several of them. It's a peaceful country. Yes, the skirmishes happen here and there, but life will go on. Don't allow anybody to scare you unnecessarily. Just do what you've got to do, because life will still go on.
Life will go on, and thank you so much, Kojo, for joining us. And
always a pleasure.
I look forward to having you back. We are going to talk sports.
We will. I'll do it. Trust me. I can't just wake up in the morning and
I know. I can't wait to get it here. So stick around, folks. We'll come back with him later to talk sports. But in the meantime, please think money and think investments. And stick around. We'll be right back.
The KSM Show.